Hello, California, and welcome to this week's edition of Your Financial Compass, the show that helps you successfully navigate to and through your retirement. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio are two financial advisors from the team of Bulman Wealth Group. We have Scott Vlahon and Shawn McElmoyl. We've got a great show for you today. We are going to be sharing with you how you can avoid some of the most common retirement planning pitfalls. Here's the deal. Retirement should be a season of freedom and fulfillment, and yet so many people, when they are not aware of these potential pitfalls and they are not anticipating them, have the complete opposite experience. But we want to help you avoid making some of these most common mistakes. So Scott, Shawn, excited to dive into this conversation with you as I am each and every week. What is going on in your world?
Well, we avoided a common mistake thanks to you, Kristen. We were going to record without cups, and you reminded us, and the director.
You need your mug.
And see, look, it's magic. There's nothing. I have a water bottle here, though, so I guess I could pour this in.
There you go.
But now we're ready to talk, and we're focused.
Yes, well, all important to stay hydrated. Although, next time I want to see branded Your Financial Compass mugs, right?
We will.
We'll get on that.
And for our viewers who come in for a meeting, we'll give them a Financial Compass mug.
There you go.
There's a reason enough to call you guys.
And a financial plan.
There you go. Yes. We got you covered in all aspects. Well, awesome. Well, here's the deal. A lot of people are saving diligently and working hard for their retirements. And you meet with a lot of folks who have done a great job of saving, and that might be you. But really, success in retirement has so much to do with preparation and just being prepared so that you can navigate through some of these potential pitfalls that we're going to talk about today. And yet there's a lack of awareness, right? This is why we wanted to have this conversation. So many folks, you've said this on previous shows, think they have a plan in place. But what they actually have are retirement accounts. And retirement accounts are not a plan in and of themselves. They are one of the tools, obviously, but they are not the same thing as having a plan. Can you expand on that for us, Shawn?
Yeah. Well, another great analogy is just kind of climbing a mountain, right? For decades, they've been working towards a destination to get to the top of the mountain, which is retirement. Decades, they've been just putting money diligently in a disciplined way into their retirement accounts, waiting for that special, perfect calendar when they can retire. But then it gets so much more complex. And to use the mountain analogy, it's on the way down when mistakes happen, when injuries happen, and the costs of mistakes are so high. So there's so much more to a retirement income plan than just having retirement accounts. There's income planning, there's tax planning, it's knowing when to take Social Security, it's recognizing the rising healthcare costs that are going to happen during your retirement, and then legacy. How much and how do you want to pass money on to the next generation? All those things have to fit together in a retirement plan. Otherwise, mistakes could happen, which can be very costly.
Well, and to that point, so much of our financial services industry is focused on that phase of going up the mountain, right? During the accumulation years. It takes a different level of expertise, a different knowledge base, a different skill set to help people come safely down the mountain. And I know that's something that really sets you and the team of Bulman Wealth apart, is this is what you do. Like, you are a retirement income specialist. You help people successfully navigate all these different aspects of their financial life and their retirement plan. That's why we often say maybe the advisor that got you to this point today isn't the right person to continue on the journey with you, right? Because they're not doing things the way that you are from that comprehensive, holistic perspective. I know another common pitfall, mistake, if you will, assumption that people make is, oh, well, I'll be spending less money in retirement. Talk about why that's a pitfall.
Yeah, in many instances, that is obviously not the case, because you think of the folks that, hey, I've been putting off these big trips until retirement. Now that we finally have time, I'm going to take me and my wife, or my husband and I, we're going to take the kids, and we're going to go on this big trip. Or all those times you wanted to travel but didn't have the time. Well, now you do have the time. Obviously, that is not cheap. A lot of folks have kids still living at home, adult children. That is not cheap either. So there's that aspect. Living in California, this is not a surprise to any of you watching, is not cheap. I grew up in Michigan. It's not expensive there. California is. So all those different factors, and until you sit down and really realize what you're spending on a monthly basis, it can be humbling, but also liberating knowing, oh, okay, yeah, I got to count this, I got to count this. Or maybe our travel budget's only on the docket for 10, 15 years. But generally early on, we want to overestimate what those expenses are because they're generally higher than what we anticipate.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this is why having a plan in place, not just a retirement account, is so important, because you need to know and have the confidence of, okay, how much money can I afford to spend each year without running out? And if you just have this large balance, that's not going to tell you the answer.
Right. We often talk about the 3 phases of retirement. They're the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. And the go-go years are early in retirement. You have your health, you have your energy, you want to do things, take up new hobbies. And so that's a natural time when, as Scott mentioned, your expenses may be higher than you anticipate.
For sure.
And that's one way we stress test the financial plan is by making those higher assumptions.
For sure. One of the other expenses that is often overlooked, not understood, which can be massive, are taxes. This is a huge area where retirees can often be caught off guard. What tax-related pitfalls do you see most often, Shawn?
Well, there's the assumption that they're going to be in a lower tax bracket, right? And we've been kind of fed that line for decades that, put money in your traditional IRA, your 401k, avoid taxes today because when you retire, your income's going to go down, you'll pay less in taxes. But what we found is people sometimes save a lot more than they thought, or they're going to continue to work part-time, Social Security, and then when they turn 73, or eventually 75, that required minimum distribution, that amount that the IRS requires you to take out every year for the rest of your life, pushes people in a higher tax bracket, and we need to address that.
Yeah, for sure. And then you mentioned healthcare costs, right? That's another area that's often not planned for enough. Can you speak to that pitfall?
Yeah, it's just really addressing, that's one of the biggest areas of concern as folks enter retirement is the cost of maybe assisted living down the road. Something we don't want to think about, but is definitely potentially on the horizon. The cost of healthcare is going up in terms of Medicare, supplements, ABCD. What does it all mean? Did I make too much and now my cost is higher? Or, just the aches and pains of continuing to get older. There's no way to beat around the bush. So it's like we want to factor in that. Even if we overestimate what our expenses are and add, say we're building out this plan, a retirement income plan, sometimes we'll add in an extra certain percentage of kind of slush expenses that are geared towards medical. So it's definitely not the fun stuff to talk about, but it's definitely something that needs to be in that conversation.
Well, clearly retirement planning is so much more than just building wealth. It's about navigating a lot of these different risks and things that folks haven't really always anticipated or planned for until they reach retirement. What would be your biggest encouragement to someone watching to help them get in front of these common pitfalls so that they don't avoid making these same mistakes?
You're not alone. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. We've heard all the questions. There's no dumb questions. We do this for a living. We've heard them all. There's no judgment. So if that is anxiety creating, or the fact that you've been paid by a company for years and now you're retiring, you have to pay yourself, how in the world do I do that? These are all things that we've walked other folks through, so we can start there. Or maybe you feel like you're taking too much risk or not enough, or you don't have a trust set up, or you're afraid of what the kids are going to do if you're not there. They're going to blow it all. All of those things are valid questions, but it all starts with a conversation. You can call the number below. We have what's called our complimentary financial compass review, and we're going to ask some questions. You have questions for us, and we'll talk through it and start to show you ways that we can address them because we've addressed them for other people. So it all starts with the call, and we'd be happy to talk to you.
Wonderful. Scott, Shawn, thank you so much. That number to call is there for you on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685. Or if you'd rather connect online, simply grab your smartphone. You can scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and that will get you connected as well. Stay with us. We're going to share some more common retirement planning pitfalls and how you can avoid making these same mistakes right after this.
You've worked hard to build your legacy, but without a clear estate plan, everything you've built could be vulnerable to delays, legal battles, and unnecessary taxes. Probate can take months or even years and leave your family with added stress during an already difficult time. And many people think having a will is enough when it's only part of the picture. That's why we created the Estate Planning Readiness Quiz. It walks you through key areas like powers of attorney, healthcare directives, trusts, tax strategies, and more. In just a few minutes, you'll find out how prepared you are and where you may need help. It's not just for the wealthy, it's for anyone who wants to protect what they've worked for. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit bwglegacyquiz.com to take the quiz today to start planning with clarity.
We often hear about celebrity estate headlines, legal disputes, and unexpected challenges. Even with significant wealth, common estate planning mistakes can occur. Our educational guide, Estate Planning 101, Avoid These 10 Celebrity Estate Planning Fails, examines several well-known situations. Learn from these examples and gain insights that may be helpful for your own planning. Download your complimentary copy today.
Welcome back to Your Financial Compass. I'm Kristen Oakley here with both Scott and Shawn from Bulman Wealth Group, and we are so glad that you're joining us today. We are talking all about avoiding the common retirement planning pitfalls that we far too often see so many people unknowingly making these mistakes. We want to help be proactive and help prevent those mistakes from happening in your life, because the reality is a lot of times folks have done a really great job of saving, yet in the absence of this knowledge, you see them stumbling in these pitfalls. So we want to get in front of it. Market volatility is a huge pitfall, right? Not being prepared for what the market may or may not do, especially right when you're planning to retire. This is a huge concern. So what mistake do you see, especially when people are trying to do this on their own?
A lot of times it's a tale of two extremes in terms of taking too much risk or not enough. So let's say for someone taking too much risk, maybe they've saved into a 401k for years and they had funds within the 401k they were investing in. Well, those, a lot of times we've seen it, those are funds that they had picked 15, 20, 25 years ago that might not still be conducive in terms of a risk level at this stage of their life. So we want to say, if that's the case, maybe we need to pull a little spice out of the meal. The flip side is true too, though. Sometimes people retire and feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm not working and I have to make sure I don't run out of money. And they want to get so conservative that they strap themselves up and huddle up and they don't want to take any risk. So there needs to be a balance, because if the average retirement is almost 3 decades, well, we need our money to still be growing. So it's just kind of meeting them where they're at, and that can adjust over time. If you just retired a month ago, doesn't mean we don't roll up the sidewalks and we can't have fun. We can still have some risk, and that can change over time, but we have to kind of see where we're at, and then are there adjustments that need to be made as we start to enter that phase into retirement.
And yeah, definitely need to be prepared for that, because it's very scary when of course, when the market's down, when you're working and you're contributing, right? That's a good thing. You want to buy low, right? That's how you do that. But when you are looking at, okay, this is what I have to live off of the rest of my life, and the market's going haywire, it's very unnerving.
Right. I mean, the top 2 concerns for retirees is, as Scott referenced, this fear of running out of money and losing money. They don't want to go back to work. The number 2 concern, and probably one of the top 2 reasons people come and talk to us, is how do I control taxes in retirement? They work with the CPA, and the CPA, our tax preparer, looks backwards. We look forward and we anticipate some of the milestones and things that are going to happen that could potentially increase their tax bill during retirement. So we talked about some common pitfalls. One was assuming they're going to be in the lower tax bracket.
Right.
The other is not really understanding how required minimum distributions and Social Security can really push people into a higher tax bracket. But there's 2 other common pitfalls that people make. One is Roth conversions. It's either not doing them and not taking advantage of that opportunity of getting tax-free growth and reducing their required minimum distributions, or they do a Roth conversion that's ill-timed. They're not considering the strategic ramifications of when they do the Roth conversion. And then finally, if like most people, most clients may have a joint account, a trust account, a tax-deferred IRA or 401k, and maybe they have a Roth IRA, a tax-free account. Knowing which accounts to draw money from first can have a big impact on taxes going forward.
Right, having the right withdrawal strategy.
Right.
And you know, both these concepts of market volatility and taxes, what folks need to understand is that success in retirement is not about how much you have, it's about how much you get to keep. And market volatility can decimate that, but taxes equally is one of the biggest expenses that most folks are completely unprepared for in their retirement. And I really appreciate that you and the team of Bulman Wealth Group engage in strategic tax planning for your clients, because you're working to have folks keep more of their hard-earned money and not have to pay any more in taxes than they're legally required to pay, right?
Correct. And I think anyone you ask, if we say, do you, in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, do you think taxes are going to be lower or higher than they are now? 99 out of 100 are going to say higher. So as Shawn was saying, it's like, why would we not consider doing Roth conversions now? I think we're at the third or fourth lowest federal tax bracket we've ever been at. So let's take advantage of that. There's nuance to it. You don't just, if you do it ill-timed, you end up paying more and end up, causing more problems than you're solving. But we have to have a discussion about it to see, does it make sense? Here's why. If you're going to pay taxes now or later, why not we pay them now, get them out of the way. It also helps with the legacy planning of leaving money to the kids. Wouldn't you rather leave, if you want to leave money to the kids, wouldn't you rather have them receive it tax-free and not leave a tax burden for them as well? So there's all these things that taxes aren't going away. And I'm tired of save money on taxes now, put it all into your 401k or traditional 401k, traditional IRA. Well, then you're just delaying the problem. It's going to be even worse down the road. So we need to get out ahead of that.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because you can't afford to look at any one piece of your financial life in isolation from each other, right? This is why you all really engage in that comprehensive, holistic planning process, helping people look at all these pieces and how you make a decision in one area, how that will and can affect all the others. I guess as we wrap up this segment, how can you really help folks that you work with uncover potential blind spots or, just potential things that they're not even aware of? Because what you don't know can hurt you. And I think what we've been talking about in this segment, it's perfect examples of that, right?
I mean, you only retire once, hopefully, and the stakes are so high. I mean, the government has shifted the burden to individual families to figure their own retirement out because people don't get lifetime pensions.
Right.
So you only have one retirement. You want to do it right. And we know everyone out there has questions about retirement. And the thing I think we bring to the table is perspective.
Right.
We ask people to invest time with us before they ever have to decide to invest money with us. And what we're willing to do is give our perspective. Collectively at Bulman Wealth Group, we probably have over 100 years or close to 100 years.
Shawn is
of
99 of them. I have one.
100 years of experience in dog years, not even in dog years. In real years, human years, we almost have 100 years of experience, and we've worked with hundreds of families, guiding them through every phase of retirement. We know what these pitfalls are, and we can help people avoid them.
Yes, for sure. And I know that a lot of the folks that you work with are already working with another financial professional, but you offer this complimentary financial compass review. It's a great chance for folks to see if they're on track. And if they are, you're going to encourage them to keep doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah, we don't need to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And from time to time, we'll meet with people that already have an advisor, or they're a DIYer and they couldn't even contemplate handing their accounts over to someone else to manage. That's okay. But if there's a reason to make a change, we'll discuss that too. If you have an advisor that hasn't built out a plan, why not? If you have an advisor that hasn't addressed taxes or talked about Roth conversions, why not? If you have an advisor that hasn't brought up, why do you need a trust? Why not? It's all fun to talk about the investments. But we have to get into the scary stuff, the boring stuff, the minutia of all those other elements, because as you said, Kristen, it's about what we keep. And if we can find ways to keep more, address those concerns, not take more risks than we have to, then there's value in that. So if that's of any importance to you, I would say call the number below. We start with the conversation. If we can't help you, we'll tell you. If we can, we'll tell you. If you're happy with your current advisor, don't call. But if you have an advisor and you're calling, there's a reason you're doing that, because you're missing something from them. So we've heard it all. We've heard all the various questions, and we will be prepared to hear yours.
Wonderful. Scott and
Well
Shawn,
said.
thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call to schedule your complimentary financial compass review is 888-970-4685. Or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. When we come back, what goes into building a solid financial plan so that you can ensure you are avoiding these pitfalls? We'll delve more deeply into that when we come back.
After college, I spent 8 years active duty as an Army officer, as a captain in the Army. And I was really driven by this idea of service and serving something bigger than myself. And when I got out of the military, it was an easy transition to financial services as a financial advisor. There was a firm that was looking for military officers who had just gotten out. They had done a study, and the people that served in the military tended to do well in financial services. And once I got into it, I just really fell in love with not only working with clients, but building portfolios, the strategic part. Just like in the military, a military operation, you're here today and later you want to get to this destination. How are you going to get there safely? Planning all the logistics, the danger areas, planning around those. They just related to each other in a way that just made sense for me. And this feeling of serving clients, serving others that's bigger than myself became kind of my calling, just as serving in the military was my calling.
Feeling overwhelmed by the numbers in retirement planning? Well, you're not alone. Our Big Picture Retirement Planning Cheat Sheet is designed to help you quickly reference key figures like contribution limits, tax brackets, and Social Security benefit thresholds. Get clear on your retirement numbers and download your complimentary cheat sheet today.
Welcome back to Your Financial Compass, where today we've been sharing with you some of the very common retirement planning pitfalls and how you can avoid falling into those same mistakes. But avoiding mistakes is only half the battle. The second that you really embark on this retirement planning journey, you want to make sure that you have a proactive, personalized plan that can help you reduce risk, help you keep more of your hard-earned wealth, and breed financial confidence for yourself and for your loved ones. So that's what we're going to be spending the rest of the show talking about, is what goes into this kind of plan that you build. You really believe in ongoing planning as well. This is not just a set it, forget it, one-time thing. Explain that process.
Yeah. We're always struck by how many people out there who are approaching retirement or who are in full retirement that don't have a financial plan. Mm-hmm. And they may have an investment account, an investment plan, but they don't really have a holistic, and I love your word, proactive financial plan that looks at all aspects of their financial life and to visually see it all pulled together in a plan. So when we meet with our clients on a regular basis, we always come back to the plan. As the world changes, as their life changes, as market conditions change, if their goals change, we make adjustments to the plan accordingly. And I think that's really a hallmark of what we do. When you become a client, we immediately schedule a year's worth of review meetings, and review is not the right word because we're looking forward. And so clients never have to think, well, do I need to call you to set up a review meeting? We've got it all scheduled. And that's how proactive we are. It starts with a proactive year's worth of meetings already scheduled to ensure we're on track.
So more than reviews, it's strategy, right?
Yeah.
Looking ahead and planning ahead proactively. I love that so much. And you really partner with people to help them stay on track. Explain how that, marries with what you were just talking about these meetings that you schedule in advance.
Yeah. It comes down to guidance, accountability. Sometimes you don't want to hear that from your spouse or your spouse's brother or the expert next door. Sometimes you want someone you're not related to or that's known you for decades to be that person you go to, because there's so much information shared, sometimes sensitive info, because we build that trust, that they're going to share things, share concerns, and they're going to come up. But as Shawn was saying, this accountability, I think for our clients, knowing that someone is there, there's just such a liberating aspect of, when tariffs hit and the market's going haywire. We were sending out videos. We sent out newsletters every other week I think every other newsletter has a video talking about a topic. We do market breakfast once a quarter. We still do, we have a radio show. Education is very important. A lot of that is on our website. So I think when people know that we're there, we're not hiding from anything. When the market's going crazy, we're not hiding on our desks with the phone off the hook. There's plenty of advisors that do that. We've seen too many of these things that we take this responsibility because we feel like we owe it to our clients when things, that's really, I think, where a bigger part of the value comes is when things aren't going good,
right?
Especially in the market. And you need that guidance then as much as any other point.
For sure. Well, and folks have the confidence of knowing that you and the team of Bulman Wealth Group are in their corner, right? And if they can't get a hold of one of you, they're going to be able to get a hold of someone at the team, and they're in their corner and they've got their back when things are going haywire. But you also do a lot of fun events too. I know, like bonding things, and what was you making flower arrangements or something?
Shawn did a luau. No one came. It was just him by himself.
No.
Plaster Paris, that's
a wax mold of Shawn, a butter statue.
Okay, we digress. My whole point was you really treat your clients like family, and you love doing community events and helping other clients get to bond with each other, and that's a high value, right?
It is. I mean, it's a relationship, and if it's always business, we really don't really understand what's behind someone's life, and that's so important because what we talk a lot about is the emotional aspect of a financial advisor relationship. If people out there think about any bad financial decision they made in their life, it was probably rooted in emotion, right? Or procrastination. I know I need to do it, but no one's really helping me kind of push me to do it. Or I got nervous and I pulled all my money out of the market and I missed it. I was trying to market time. That level of having that emotional connection and help guide people and keep them from making bad emotional financial decisions can really only happen when you know each other really well.
Yeah.
So that's why we invest so much time in getting to know people on a personal level.
I love that. So well said. Folks are going to be experiencing a whole different realm of what goes into retirement planning when they reach out and connect with you. So I'm excited for more folks to do so. So Scott, Shawn, thank you so much. Again, we encourage you. We know that this retirement planning stuff may feel overwhelming. The good news is, even though it might be new to you, it's not new to Scott and Shawn and the team of Bulman Wealth Group, and they are here to help and serve you. You don't have to go it alone, but you do need to reach out. 888-970-4685 is the number to call to start your process of receiving your complimentary financial compass review so that you can avoid these common retirement planning pitfalls as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Your Financial Compass.